Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having some marriage conversations, and we're going to be having a lovely couple with us today who are going to share on the differences, in personalities, in backgrounds, generally differences that can affect our marriages. So please keep watching. Shoot Day is happening at Canary Hotel, and Canary Hotel has some amazing offers for you. Every Sunday, Canary Hotel has something called Paint and Chill. Now, Paint and Chill happens every Sunday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Adults pay 70,000 and children pay 50,000. Now, these are activities that you can do with your spouse to create that bonding moment. Please try them out. And this includes a welcome drink, all art materials and tools. You can take the masterpiece home, and it comes with games and karaoke as well. Now that's a way to spend time with your family. Try out Canary Hotel today. It's located on Chira Road. You won't regret it. On set, we have Mr. and Mrs Ainebyoona. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
So good to have you back, Diana.
Thank you.
Guys, have you watched the video with Diana? We're talking about how to grow your relationship with God as a mom. Please do not miss it. Look out for it. It's really eye-opening. All right. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Diana Kajimba Ainebyoona, and I'm married to Jesse. We've been married for almost 10 years now. Yeah, finally we can say that.
Now you can. When you reach 10 years, you're like,
yeah. Yeah. I'm a mother of three, and 2 girls and 1 boy. I'm a homeschooling mom. Been homeschooling for 3 years now. Yeah, I think 3 years. I'm a business owner. I run Ruby's Gift Store. We are a Christian gift shop. Yeah, I think that's it about me.
The one and only Christian gifts. Amazing. Please, if you need some Christian gifts, please check out Ruby's Gift Store.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. And it's glad for me to be here with you. Thank you for the great work that you do to empower families out there.
Yeah.
We follow and we appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there are videos we watch, and Diana says, pause.
Have you heard?
Have you heard? Take some notes.
Take notes.
Love it. Amazing.
Yes. My name is Jesse Ainebyoona. Professionally, I trained as a mechanical engineer. And currently, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a business. I'm a corporate trainer and a global speaker. And early this year, I graduated from Coach Masters Academy in Singapore as a certified professional coach. I serve with a team at Inspired Leaders International as the Training and Development Associate. I'm also a member of Toastmasters International, where I have served as the National President of Toastmasters International. I'm happy to be on the program. Beautiful.
Guys, first of all, I need to tell you that I attended a public speaking course. Here was our trainer. So I'm on pressure right now.
No pressure.
I'm on pressure right now. So guys, if you need to learn how to speak, public speaking, please look no further. Jesse is the one for you. Amazing, amazing. So good to have you here. Now we're going to be talking about marriage. You guys have been married for 10 years, and I can already feel the wisdom. I can already feel it. So just walk us through your journey at the start. How was it when you got married? Was it easy? How was the gelling? Did you gel properly? Tell us more about that.
How was it? On Friday, 12th August, 2011, it was coming to the midnight hour. That's the day my eyes landed on Diana.
I was wondering, where is this going?
We dated for 3 years, and 3 years later, we committed to each other to walk this journey till death do us apart.
Wow.
And I would say that those 3 years of dating helped us a great deal to have a good start in our marriage. I would say we connected well the first years were really good and enjoyable. Unlike what many people say about watch out for the first years, our first years were amazing. They were really, really awesome until the children came.
You thought you had this thing, eh? Then the children came and told you.
And how many were those years? Those were 2 years.
Yes.
And honestly, they were good those first 2 years. I mean, okay, there were, issues here and there, but they were really, small issues. Then the child came.
Yes. And by the way, just to qualify it, there is nothing wrong with children.
Of course.
Nothing wrong. Children are a blessing. Children are good.
Yeah.
In our case, when the children came, they brought out certain things about us, especially now the implication of parenting on marriage. So they brought out certain things that we had to go back to school. The school of understanding each other. Yeah. So that was the first few years. Yeah.
And then your perspective.
Yeah, honestly, those first 2 years were really fun. They were easy. They were really easy. Then the child came, and it's like everything just spinned.
Tell us more about it. What caused that?
So I think for me, that's when my expectations of what I expected him to be like as a father, as a husband, as the head of the home, that's when what I expected, just came to light. Yeah, which didn't really come out when we were just the two of us, because when it was just the two of us, it was like we were just friends living together, enjoying life.
We mastered the art of living together.
Yeah.
We had one ball to juggle. The ball of the husband, the ball of the wife.
Yeah.
When that second ball came in, that became quite something.
Yeah. So for me, expectations of how he would spend time with the child, what we would do as a family, as husband, wife, and child. And then it really just came down to what I had seen growing up is what I expected is going to happen. And then for him, he was just doing also what either he had seen or what he knew, which was worlds apart. Yeah.
Can you break it down for us in terms of that difference? What was it like growing up? And then you also share.
Okay. So the brief background behind our growing up is I was raised by parents that are business people. To this day, they run a business. Now, running a business in Kampala has many implications. When you are self-employed, you determine, first of all, you want to burn the candle on both ends. You want to start as early as possible. You want to finish as late as possible. So
you don't want to miss any customer.
Exactly. By 7 a.m. shops in Chikovo. Then they would return at 10 p.m. So that was the environment I grew up in. Fast forward, I run a business. The example that I know is work hard at your business. The working hard I know at your business is give it more time. Inevitably, that takes away time
for the family.
I did not realize that until the children came. And before marriage, we would both go to work. So we didn't feel it. It was there, but not really noticeable. We could cover it up between the two of us. The children come and that was my side.
Yeah, and I mean, in hindsight, even when we were dating, I realized that he was working all the time. It was like, when do you have fun? Like, when do you do things for fun? Like, what do you do for fun? But it was like, when we started dating, that was the fun. Like, I was the relaxation time. But if we were not together, he was working.
So it was either or. Either we are together or I'm working.
Yes.
No middle.
Yeah. But I think naturally I thought, I didn't really think much of it. So of course we get married, and now I know, we get back from work. The only time we have to spend with this child is, this little evening time and the weekend. But now the evening time is coming and he's working. Weekend comes, he has an appointment with somebody. I mean, Saturday I'm going to meet someone. Sunday there is a meeting here, and I'm thinking he must be joking.
You're joking. This is not what I signed up for.
I said, no, this is not what I said. This is not what my child deserves. I was like, no way. I was not having it. And of course, first of all, I did not expect it. So when it came, I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I was very, very shocked. And of course, now I was shocked. And then I even got angry. And then I'm like, you need to spend time at home. And he's like, spend time at home?
How does that work?
Yeah. So that was probably one of our biggest struggles, because just being home, you know, the whole weekend was not something that he was used
Familiar.
to. And it was even not something that he knew how to do. So now when I insisted that you must be home, now he started trying to be home.
What was the problem now?
How do you be at home?
He didn't know how to be at home. Like, okay,
Feel like
now
out
I'm
of
at
place.
home. So at first he would stay home,
And sit.
then he sits, but he's either on the laptop or reading a book. I'm like, no, you have to be present. Like, not just physically. Like, we need to feel your presence. Like, we need to be together. Then he's like, okay, so no laptop, no book. Yeah, I'm here.
So now I'm
seated,
here.
like, he's seated. But, you know, he's just fidgeting in the chair. He doesn't know what to do. Then I'm like, now this is now annoying. Like, you can't just be seated in the chair. Like, do something.
Help me!
Yeah, do something. So, you know, the something now was, I had to now say, okay, now this is what we're going to do. Spend 20 minutes working on a puzzle. You know, go to the room, just the two of you,
With the
without me,
child.
work on a puzzle.
Okay.
Spend 15 minutes building blocks. And even that didn't come naturally. You would see Bambi, he's like, it's not natural. But with time, eventually he got into he got the hang of it.
Yeah.
But really, that's now where we were coming from. And now for me, on the other hand, I come from a family that is very career, oriented. So people go to work on Monday morning,
At
9
8
to
o'clock.
5,
Yeah.
8 to 5, Monday to Friday. On the weekend, everyone is at home.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that there are people who work on the weekend. I didn't.
Like, what is wrong?
Yeah,
now?
like Saturday we are home or we are going out or whatever. Sunday we go to church, either come back home or go visiting. There was nothing like you have, something that's not family oriented. Yeah, so that was probably one of our biggest struggles.
And that's interesting because many people don't realize that background would really affect how you actually relate, because it's not his fault.
Yes, not at all.
That's what he saw. That's what he thinks it's
Yes.
going to be, you know? So I think it's very important for us to think about those things and
Yeah.
talk through them.
Yeah.
So in the giving him, 5 minutes, spend time with the kid, how was that for you, especially in your mind? Which you were like, what's going on?
Yeah. It was a learning curve. I remember one particular instance. I was bathing the baby. And so we bathed in silence.
And I'm like, are there people here?
I know. Where's everyone?
Are you bathing a robot?
I know. Oh my God.
I don't remember that.
Wow. It was that. And I think one thing that as I look back with the benefit of hindsight, in retrospect, I realize, guys, don't underestimate the power of example. Don't underestimate the power of example. It just shapes you. It is a silent program that is installed in your subconscious. And so as you grow up, you have no other thing to do except what you saw.
Oh my God.
Example is not the main thing in influencing others. It's the only thing.
It's the only thing.
It's the only thing.
So that's how they were showering you guys. What?
We're not showered. Hello?
So you didn't know how to relate with your child.
So, exactly. And by the way, not to say that my parents didn't relate with us. They did, but not to the level that she expected. Ours was a bit not so close. So growing up, that's what I saw. So what was the experience of learning? It was like learning a language.
Yeah.
Yes, I struggled. It was, I could feel the discomfort. And COVID just brought it home for me. When we got home, 2020, and our daughter was about 3 years then. She could talk. And you could also see that, Daddy, how come you're not going anywhere? How come you are?
Strange.
Yes, it was also strange for her to have her dad around all the time. Like, what's this all about? So it was a journey that I appreciated, thankfully, with her guidance.
Yeah.
And it was something that she took on with, when she noticed the struggle, she became patient, she became gentle, she noticed, oh, this is something that is not obvious. And that's another thing I would like to encourage the ladies and even the men, because we come from different backgrounds. Don't think that what is obvious to you is obvious to the other person.
Yes.
Her brothers are, she has a brother that is now a father of 2. Amazing. It's easy for him to connect, spend time, play, go home. It's almost natural because that's what he saw. So it's not obvious. What is obvious to you is not obvious to the other person. So I had to humble myself, and maybe if you're the one on the other side where you have to learn, please accept that this is something that is important and begin to learn it.
But I love that. And you are humble.
Yes, but it also took time to get to that place of realizing that, okay, he's not refusing. You get, because you can think this person just has no interest in the family. Like
he's
they
mean.
just don't
what
want.
is it now?
Yeah, but realize that it's not that. They need help to know what to do. They don't know what to do or how to do it, and they just need help. Yeah, so for me, I really also had to calm down and stop getting annoyed and accept that, okay, let me stop being judgmental.
Yeah.
And as the one who knows, you know, you feel like it's obvious, you should do this. I mean, even things like reading a story, I'd be like, that's not how you read a story to a child.
Add some drama. Then
yeah. So even that was a struggle. Then say, no, this is like, you know, add some emotion to it and what. And in the beginning, it was not coming naturally. But over time, because he was willing to learn, it started coming out. And now when I hear him, I'm like,
wow, progress, you know.
Sometimes the children have read the story, but they say, Daddy, read for us that story. Because of the drama, the non-bubbles, the animation.
That's nice. But how did you reach that? How did you realize that this could be an issue of how he was raised? Did you guys have a conversation about it, or you just realized that maybe he just doesn't know how to do it?
So in the beginning, I didn't know that it was an issue of you know, maybe he hadn't seen it and that's why he didn't know. But eventually we had the conversation and then he admitted that these things were difficult for him because of So when he said that, I think that was when we began to get better.
But you see what communication does. If you don't talk about them and then you assume, you assume this guy is just, he's not supportive. Which kind of person is this? Then you're saying, why is she insisting on these things, you know? So I like that, you know, it's good for people to know that if you don't talk, then you will not know about it. And also the fact that you are humble enough as a man. You know, men can be like, sure, me, this is how I do it and that is it. No questions.
That's true. But I think also sometimes you may not know.
That this is why.
That this is why. Like, you don't even get it. But you have to take time to sit down and self-evaluate. Why am I like this? Why am I doing things like this? And then you realize that it's coming from somewhere, you know? And then because of that, then you know how to deal with it. Because for me, there are things which I do, and I realize the only reason I'm doing them is because I saw
your
them.
mom doing it or something.
So I don't even need to think about it. It just comes naturally. So we need to know that you know, we are what we saw.
That's amazing. Okay, and now as you're going through marriage, you know, they say unlike poles, attract. Then, you know, somehow we find ourselves with people who are just not like us. You know, and what differences have you seen, like in Diana and vice versa, that you're like, but honestly, you know, that difference in personality, and how has it affected the marriage?
Yeah, you rightly said, unlike poles, attract. In fact, there's something I read that opposites attract, and then they also attack. So initially, we were attracted to one another because of those opposites. And the number one difference really is, so one, we have talked about our backgrounds, but the other thing is our personalities. Our personalities are different.
Very.
I am calm. And that's what attracted her to me. My calmness. The ability to be on pressure, but you are calm, poised, you know. More outgoing, friendly, connects with people, which is quite the opposite of her.
Yeah. Now, me on the other hand, first of all, I am fine to be by myself.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I even feel like when I over talk, I get tired. Yeah, like, now I'm tired. Like,
I want to just step
now,
back.
Yeah, just now give me some space. Let me go to the room and heal from all that talking and, you know, being around people. And then I'm impatient. I'm quite impatient. I'm quite controlling. I remember this one time when we were still dating and we were at a restaurant. And I think either the waiter messed up the bill and brought wrong change. And I'm like,
please.
Yeah. And
this is not what to expect.
And I'm expecting him to be like mad. And he's
just
and I'm
quiet.
thinking, are you serious?
handle the situation.
Sort it out.
And we've had, of course, many situations like that where someone does us wrong, and I'm like, this person a piece of him, have you mind? And it's not, and I'm like,
let me help you.
Yeah. But yet I feel like I should not be the one to do it. So while before I was like, wow, how can someone be so calm? How can someone love people so much? Now I'm like, please.
This loving is too much. Can you set that?
Like you know, let's let these
business.
people come. I'm like, it's a Sunday afternoon. Can we relax? We have work tomorrow.
Yes.
You get. And funny enough, now I have a daughter. She's like, oh, do we have visitors coming today? I'm like, oh my God.
She has taken the treat.
Yes.
Yeah. So then also we had scenarios where, you know, well, for me, I'm very decisive. Like you said, there's this. In 1 second, I've decided either we are going or we are not going. Like, what is there to think about? Him, on the other hand, he's like, let's think about. I'm like,
Actually, thinking can take some time.
yeah. So actually now, I first walk away so that I don't put him on pressure. Let me walk away. You think about it.
By the time she comes back, we have thought about it.
Yeah. But, you know, things like that. So there would be a decision to make. And I'm like, no, like, let's just decide quickly.
Yeah.
And he needs time to think about it. But of course, now I see the wisdom because there are things I've decided and I should have.
You should have waited.
have
You know, I
waited.
like that because I'm like, Steve and I are the same.
Yeah.
He also takes his time. I'm just like, decide already. We are missing this car thing, you know. But you find that you've been saved because of that waiting.
Yeah.
And it's the way God puts you together for a reason. Because He knows if you were with someone who is also deciding, you'll be crushed.
Yeah.
In fact, let me give you one time when something happened. We were going to bed. Then I hear, you know, like a bang. I'm like, I've had a bang. You better go and check the door. I'm like, are you sure you locked? He's like, I locked. I'm like, better go and check. He's like, let me first finish taking my tea, and I'll go.
You're like, the thieves are
Like,
coming.
exactly. By the time we finish that tea, that would have reached here. But by that time, I had healed. You die. I covered myself. Either he drank his tea,
And then
finished it, and went and checked.
wow.
But can you imagine such peace?
It's about his own understanding.
No, actually, I was like, you have the peace. Like that.
She said, I have more peace
Than
than the peace that's
that-
supposed. When you're giving that peace in church, I know I'm sorted.
You're sorted.
I'm okay.
You don't need it. You already have it. It's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, for me, I feel like, no, like, you know, things are not that simple. Like, you can't just be so relaxed about everything. You know, even if it's like an appointment and I'm like, we have to be there by 2. It's like, they will understand. I'm like, how will they understand? They already told us that time. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did you navigate to live together? Because there are people who find these differences and then they are like, you know what? I can't deal, you know. So how do you navigate differences in personality in marriage?
One thing for sure, I love Diana. And the reason I say that is because when something is an issue to her, it's an issue to me.
Okay.
So that's one thing. And for me, I notice now as I look back, that has been the motivation behind everything I have had to do for the sake of her. So when it was with the children, you know, spending time, I could have said, you know what, I have my life. We are together. It's okay. You spend time with the kids. Let me do what I want. A man out there is probably doing that.
Yes.
Doing it.
But I feel like an unhappy wife cannot give me a happy life. So I pay attention to her concern. So when I notice this thing is taking time, one of the things that also used to really rub her the wrong way was not being quick to do certain things.
Yeah.
So for example,
The bulb.
the bulb needs to be fixed. So there is a bulb in the sitting room,
Yeah.
and then there is a bulb in the dining. So the one of the lights in the sitting room has an issue, but there is still light in the
We
in
can
the
still
house.
see.
We can still
The
see.
light needs to work.
Yeah.
But then she feels like it needs to be fixed. I'm like,
Now.
Today.
Today.
Why tomorrow? We have a bulb here.
I'm thinking-
Climb and put it.
it's not a life and death. That was me. Now I have learned that, if she says it, let me do it.
Wow.
It may not make sense to me.
you.
Honestly, I can see without that light.
Yeah.
But, but for her sake,
Yeah.
let me fix that light.
Wow.
For her sake, let's get a new dining table.
That's
The
dining
one we
itself.
have can serve us. We are okay. We all fit.
Mobla men, you're the same.
They are real the
The
same.
table
TV
is
set, what is it called?
TV
the TV stand. It's serving us, but for her
Holding the
sake,
TV.
let's do something about it. So I have, with the background of what affects her, affects me. Wow. Let me consider it.
Okay.
That has always been my motivation.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And Diana, for you?
Yeah, I think for me now, I realizing that we are just different. Not that I am right and he's wrong. Because for me, initially, I'm like, I'm the right one.
Exactly.
Yeah, but eventually I had to realize that no, there are benefits of him being the way he is, and me being the way that I am. So we cannot always be running like the world is going to burn.
Yeah.
There's a time to, to ease down. Yeah, but also me adjusting, like, okay, he hasn't fixed it today, but the world is not going to come to an end. It's okay. Yeah, but also he helped me to understand that the way that he is. So, for example, things which for me seem urgent and they are not urgent to him, is to tell him that this thing is urgent. To be clearer in my communication, that this thing which I want you to do, I actually need you to do. Like, it is important to me that you do it. Yeah, I think that one has really helped us. But also just, calming down.
Yeah,
like,
things are
just
not going. Nothing is
calm
going to
down.
happen. I
Yeah.
love that, and also Steve keeps saying it's okay. I'm saying it's not okay. Let's do it. But knowing your partner, I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing is just understanding your partner.
Yeah.
Because when you begin to understand them, then you will know this is why they are behaving like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that they don't like you.
Exactly.
They're being nagging. They woke up and say, "Let me annoy the other." No
Uh-huh.
one wakes up. You get.
Yeah.
So putting myself in Steve's shoes has also helped me to see that, okay, let me see what he sees, his perspective. Okay, maybe, like one thing I think we keep talking about, Steve can wake up in the morning and he's going to Ginger. For me, I feel like Ginger is another district. At least for him, he's like, that's no more work every day. I go to Ginger and come back. But me, I'm like, I'll be here on the news, and then they say, a petrol station in Ginger has bombed. I'm like, oh, sorry for those guys. Call me. You were in
there.
Ginger. I should have called you. You
Yeah.
get, so for him, he's looking at it like, that's normal work, the way I go to, and just going to a side visit, So just understanding that it's not that he's doing it, that we didn't like you, they want to tell you.
Yeah.
For him, he's just thinking about it differently.
Yeah.
And I think once we put on our partner's shoes,
Yes.
sometimes it helps, like we're pouring into our forever.
Yes.
That, because our forever is, let's say it's a jug.
Yes.
Every time you understand, but every time it's about you, why aren't you doing like my way? Well,
Yeah.
you're removing from me.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And Lisa, I think that is the maturity that comes with marriage. That some people are just not ready to adjust and adapt.
Yeah.
And God forbid, some things may never change. Are you willing to be at peace
With
in that circumstance?
Yes.
That is really the maturity that comes with it. One of the things you talked about, Steve, calling was when I'm running late. The discipline of calling to say I'm running late. That is another thing I had to learn to do.
Yeah.
So it was not obvious to me.
Yeah.
And we need to not make assumptions that what is obvious to you is not obvious to the other person.
Yeah.
So while you expect that when you're running late, please let me know, it may not be obvious to him. He knows that when I arrive, I have arrived.
Yeah, but I think
I have
also
arrived.
on my side is is not taking it personal anymore. Like, I let it go. So if it gets to 9 p.m. and he's not back and he has not called, now I know that I might call and he might not pick, which might make me anxious or make me annoyed. Like, now I've called you and you haven't picked. So instead, I'll just pray and say, wherever he is,
cover him,
protect him.
Yes,
that he will get home safely, because like at this point it is out of my control. Like, what can I do? I go, I pick him. it's out of my control. So that one I had to rest and say, protect him, because also I think the way many men are wired is, if he's here, he's here.
He's in that.
So for me, I used to feel like, you're not even thinking about us at home. Like, you get. Yet, it's not that. It's just that wherever he is, that's where he is. He can't be, as you're thinking about the market, you're thinking about home, you're thinking about, some work you have at school, you're thinking about your business, you're thinking about everything at the same time. For him, if he is in a restaurant eating food, he's in a restaurant eating food. He's not thinking about you guys at home and how it's 9 p.m. and the kids have already slept and he hasn't. No. And then he's not like, these guys, let me not call them. You get. So I had to say, it's okay. It's not personal. He's not trying to annoy us. He's not being uncaring. You get. But, by the time you go through all that, you've actually been through it.
You're growing.
As maturity.
And not to give the liberty that now that she's okay with that, I am also okay. No. I'm also remembering, I haven't yet called. Then I make that call. I send that message.
Everyone is working on themselves. Seeing, like you mentioned, what frustrates her, work on it. What frustrates him, also work on it. So if all of us are dying to, to fix what is not okay, then I think we'll have an amazing relationship, So let's talk about parenting. It's one of the things when we come into marriage, we have different ways we think we should parent. How has been your experience in parenting the children, and what are those things that have come out, that have revealed, like, this is not how I do things?
One of the early things we had in marriage, we visited my parents. So when we visit, then we had no children. So the first person we found in the sitting room was my dad. So between me and my dad, back in the day, our conversations were Q&A. Question and answer.
Yes, no.
How is business?
Good.
It's fine. How are you there? We're okay. So this particular day, that is the conversation, and then he gets up and goes to the bedroom, and then my mom comes and sits there. And another Jesse springs up. So how are you doing here? How is the going? How is home? What's new? On the way home, she asked a question. Tell me about your relationship with your dad. That was then. And it's then that I actually realized there is something that I need to work on. I am happy to say, after a lot of intentional input in that particular relationship between me and my dad, we are not just father-son. We are friends.
Wow.
Recently, he visited us and we spent 6 hours
talking.
Just talking.
No longer Q&A.
Now
it's depth,
One time I made a call and I saw call time just to say hi to him. 17 minutes. Just to say hi. Wow. The reason I say that is because that came into my relationship with my children. I did not know how to engage. I didn't know how to have a conversation with a child. So I began to work at it. So again, upbringing, parenting, it has a huge implication.
Wow.
So it's possible. Don't be a victim of your past. You can work at it.
For me, that's how my parents also didn't do like that.
Exactly.
Now you know.
You can
do something.
I
love it. Diana,
and if there is something that you can learn from your spouse, don't be like, those ones are like that. Like, learn something and adapt. But of course, I mean, it takes a lot of humility.
Exactly.
Not to learn. And there are always lessons to learn from both sides that you can pick. So what was your question?
The differences in parenting that you've seen that can maybe affected your relationship and how you parent.
Okay. The differences in parenting. I think for me, our parents were our friends. So for me, it just came naturally to do a lot of things with the children. Also, I saw my mom spending a lot of time at home. So naturally, I was just spending a lot of time at home. We cook together, we do this together, we run errands together. So it just came naturally to me to do those things in that way. Yeah, but of course now, because I expected, and also my dad used to do the same things. He would move with us everywhere. He would, you know, play games with us, read us bedtime stories. And of course now, because I'm not seeing him do that, I'm like, get on the program.
Yeah.
Align
yourself. Enroll.
Yeah. But of course, yeah, but you can see the tension that it brought between us. But I think one of the things that helped us is that when I think Ruby maybe was 2, our firstborn was 2, we did a parenting class together. And that helped us align on how do we discipline, how do we parent. So even those differences that we had, we were able to discuss through them and align on how we parent. So a lot of things now are really aligned. Like how do we discipline when they do something wrong? What values do we want to instill in them? And you know, that kind of thing. So really what helped us was, you know, finding something that we could say, okay, now we are going to do it like this. Yeah, so I think for me that what helped. Of course, a lot of things from the past come up. I mean, like for me, a lot of the discipline was they would talk to us. You know, you've done it, especially for me. And I was not the kind of kid who used to get into trouble.
Yeah.
So they would tell me, you did this wrong, what, and yeah, that was enough. But I have a child, that is not enough for her.
Yeah.
She needs more. She needs more. And so if I had come with only that, it would not have been enough for her. But also his was we had discipline. You know?
Too much, extreme.
It was a bit extreme. No.
You're being too much.
You're going to break the child, you know? So we had different, but we sort of aligned on what we wanted to do. And that really helps.
And I like that because many couples are not actually having those conversations. Like I keep telling people, you see you did a parenting class or something like that. People think, I'll just be a mom. We just do. No, me, I will do how I want you, so do it. But it's okay to learn about parenting. It's okay to say, you know what? Let's talk about this. Okay, for you, this is how you do it. Okay, what about what we want as Ainebyoona?
Yes.
Because many times we carry what our parents did. Now you want to force it on also your spouse. Let's forge our own.
Exactly. And I think where we're coming from is it gives us opportunity to enrich our own parenting experience. Because I now see many things that I learned watching my parents that I bring for the children.
Yeah.
My parents are teachers. They taught us. Now today I bring that into our parenting. We have a set of 6 values. And every morning it is my project to bring a values moment. So like our values are dependence on God. So we trust God to lead us in what we are doing. We have fun as a family. That came from, Diana.
Yeah. Well done.
We are generous. We value generosity.
Yeah.
We talk about respect, excellence, and growth. So every morning, the teacher in me says, let's have a values moment.
Guys.
For 3 minutes, tell us, Ruby, what is your understanding of growth? And yesterday, she had an amazing perspective. She said, Daddy, I noticed there are 2 ways we grow. Physically and spiritually.
Wow.
A 7-year-old.
Amazing.
So there are things we bring from our past that can enrich us.
That's a good.
The value of fun came from Diana because in their family they use they find every excuse to celebrate and have fun. Whether someone has gone through first level interview, let's have lunch together.
Are you serious?
Let's celebrate.
Wow.
Anything.
Any milestone.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we bring that. My dad demonstrated to me and taught me how to clean. So now I bring that into the family and I help our children to learn that wherever you are, clean the place, organize it and leave it neat for the next person. So we bring that into our parenting experience. So you don't come empty-handed or empty-headed. There is always something you have learned. And when you bring the 2 together, because I don't have it all, she doesn't have it all, but when we bring the 2 together, we are richer together.
Yeah.
I love that. That is amazing, because many times these days we say trauma, parenting trauma. They are also good things.
They're also good.
We're over focusing on them.
Yeah.
So we need to just take another lens and look at, there are certain good things your parents did. How do you copy? And then there are ones that are not okay. How do we realign and focus? I love that.
Because even what they didn't do well, by the way, that's what they knew.
Yeah.
That's what they knew. If they knew any better, they would have done better.
Probably.
Now that we know better, let's do better.
There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we also need to stop being too judgmental on our parents, because I feel like people are over blaming everything on but I mean, okay, it happened, whatever happened, but they were not intentionally trying to hurt their children. No parent would intentionally try to do that. So whatever happened, let's leave it, heal and
do better for your child. I love that. So are there some things now, knowing what you know now about personalities and and things like that, that you think other people would learn, especially people who are struggling to, they're always struggling, strife in the marriage, conflict, because these people are different, or she's not like me, he's not like me. What advice would you give them?
I think for me, it's to calm down. Calm down and stop, holding on to I'm like this, and then the other person is I'm like this. We have to calm down and say, okay, what adjustments can I make so that I can accommodate this person? Because in your family, like you'll find, like, I mean, you've grown up together with your siblings and parents, like you've found a way to balance each other and gel together. But now this is somebody who has come with so many different things from you. Calm down and say, okay, how can we live together? So if there is something that is, and realize the things that are non-negotiables and things that you can compromise on. Like if it's toothpaste which is squeezed half, like, will you die? Like, it's okay if the floor is wet. Will you die? Like, don't make it seem like it is something so big that you cannot live with. We just need to calm down on those differences, recognize what they are, recognize where they are coming from, and be like, okay, for me, when I began to understand the reasons that he was the way that he was, it helped me a lot.
That's halfway. You've solved the problem almost.
Because then I realized that, first of all, he's not trying to annoy me. He's not trying to hurt me. It's who he is, Now that we know that, let's try to sort what we are in, So we just need to calm down and show. Every single day I tell myself, grace over judgment, grace over judgment, because I mean, even our children will come and they will pick the character of our spouses. Then what? It's your child, So grace over judgment, that I would be gracious and not judge, because the easy thing to do is like, now you see he has done that, now you see she has said that, but to just show this person grace, that I will be patient with them, I will be kind with them as they adjust also and change. But also, in case they don't, can I still love them? Can I still respect them? It's not easy. I mean, there are things which we are still struggling with, but at least we are not where we were.
You are.
That's true.
Step by step, progress. And just say for you,
I would imagine that the fruit of the spirit was probably meant for married people. Because when you think about it, love, joy, peace, it's easy to be calm with other people that you don't meet so often. But this person that you're with, you wake up to them. Can you model patience? So I think just realize that this person is a human being. He's not Deputy Jesus or Holy Spirit Junior. He is a human being. He or she has their flaws. They are not perfect. So in a way, understand that this person also has their shortcomings. Then secondly, be willing to understand the other person before you are understood. Many times we want to say, understand me. First understand me. No. First understand that they are coming from somewhere. And then they will be able to understand you. And then lastly, work at it. Work at it in the sense that if there is something that is important to the other person, work towards at least meeting them somewhere. We used to
Halfway.
call it meet each other in the middle. Make an effort. Don't be rigid and say, for me, this is how I am. Be willing to learn. Some things may change, some things may not change, but that's the beauty of marriage. That today, after 10 years, Diana is more patient. I am more hands-on. And also, we learn, we grow, we get better. That is
takes time.
Exactly, it takes time. Will some things be worked out completely? Maybe not. But as far as much as is possible for us, work at it.
Yeah, I love that, especially that patience, because sometimes, like, you've come together, you're probably single for I don't know how many years, even this person, so they have their own way. So now, in the first year of marriage, you want everything to align the way I want. It's a bit unfair, you know. So please, let's give things time, because even me, I've seen the certain things I've talked about, and I'm just seeing them in the 7th year now coming to life. If I had given up in year 2,
Exactly.
I would not have
And I
seen.
think that's what happens, and people give up so fast.
Yeah.
And yet they don't understand that it takes time for people to be able to blend with each other. And if we could be more patient, like you now, when you overcome those hurdles, you're like,
Just like,
Kale,
Kale, you've seen that.
even say, what did we used to argue about? You can't even remember
Exactly.
what you used to argue about.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've heard of the serenity prayer that says, God grant me the courage to change the things I can, the serenity to accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Exactly.
There are some things which you can change. Take the courage and change them. There are some things which you won't change. Be at peace and ask for God to give you the grace to live with them and be at peace. And then have the wisdom to know which one you should change, and which one you should be at peace with. So change what you can, endure what you must.
Exactly. And as we conclude, you know, there are so many young people who are watching, they may not be married. What are some things, especially during dating, that we can see or be aware of that can help us, especially when it comes to these differences? Because sometimes we blunder because we just don't know. So are there some good tips, especially for those that are dating, things to look out for?
Yeah. For me, I think it's to take time to talk, to really, really talk to each other and understand who this person is. And then to just pray for wisdom to be able to interpret what you hear. Because you may hear, but, you know, you're just hearing stories. But to interpret that because this person has said this, this is what it means about who they are, about how they understand things, about how they will eventually parent, about how they will eventually treat me. You know, someone can make like a statement.
And you're like,
yeah, you know, like a statement, and you know, you realize that the way they are thinking about a certain thing, and then to know what is a deal breaker, and what is it, like what is a non-negotiable for you, so that you know that, you know, if it's, you know, small things you can manage. But if there are things which the person says and you realize
it's so off.
You know, maybe someone mentions witchcraft and, you know, it talks about it like
that is how,
you know. So you need to really, really talk. Like, don't just be, you know, don't just keep it surface level
and love just only.
Because you see, you hear many people who they eventually get married and they're like, Kale, I thought he was saved. Like, how did you not see it?
Nothing disturbs you, Diana. We have talked about it many times. Like,
but you see, like, and it comes out in conversations, like, what do you actually, like, you know, it's not like I read my Bible, we went to church together, but like, what is your interpretation of scripture? You get, that's when you can be able to know how somebody is thinking and what they are feeling about certain issues. So you need to know what your non-negotiables are, and just pray to God to give you wisdom so that you can see the things that need to be seen. Because I mean, we talked a lot when we were dating, but some of these things did not come out, but they were not deal breakers.
I think in the same light, understand your non-negotiables. Are there things you can deal with, but then are there things you totally cannot? God is the author of this institution of marriage, and God is faithful. He will show you some red flags. Now it is your choice. It is your choice to see those red flags and do something about them, or to ignore. And one thing for sure, when those red flags are ignored in marriage, they will show up again.
Oh, yeah.
I have met several friends, I've met several people who, they are struggling. But when you go back to the dating journey, they saw the red flags.
They ignored.
They ignored and they hoped that they would change.
Yeah.
The question is, if it does not change, are you ready to live with it for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
If you're not ready to live with it, better a broken relationship than a broken marriage. No one will fault you for saying, you know what, we can't
make it. Yeah.
Because this journey that you're starting is a journey of till death do us apart.
Yeah.
And it is serious. There is the front door, but there's no back door. Because young people get in marriage and they keep using, I'll go.
I know.
Even add by the way.
I'll go. No, that's not what you signed up for.
Yeah.
Weddings are conducted between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. because people, during that time, they are sober.
Yes, please.
And they are witnesses. It's broad daylight. You were sober when you went to say, I do.
Yeah.
So, this is not a simple commitment.
Yeah.
It is a lifelong commitment. I did not go to the altar to commit that I would be a mechanical engineer till death do me part. No, I changed along the way. There is no other thing I have made a commitment to death till death do us apart, except this relationship.
Yeah.
So this is a serious relationship. I remember when we were walking into church that day, there is something they read, and the reverend read something to the effect that this is a serious thing, and you don't go into it rashly. You take time to think through because it requires responsibility. Marriage requires responsibility. So before you say yes to that person, you are committing for the rest of your life. Be sure. Pray to God. You may not date forever to know this person, but ask God to reveal things. And God is faithful. He will reveal them.
We cannot say He didn't show us.
He showed you.
Yeah.
What did you do about it? Lastly, remember that dating and marriage are different. Yeah. When you're dating, you show up. Yeah, you put on your makeup, your nice perfume, you show up on time. It's an event. When you're married, you do life together. You don't show up. You're always in each other's space.
Yeah.
This immaturity of silent treatment is not, so be ready to commit. Be ready to walk that journey. There are some things that you may not know when you're dating, but because you're now doing life together, they are going to come to light. Be mature enough to walk through those situations.
Guys, I don't know if I can add anything. Brilliant. You have had, I can't say anything. Please, if you're dating, these are the things to look out for. Be committed. Know that this is not, it's a lifelong thing. It's not just an event, I've loved the conversation, guys. Thank you so much. Where can they find you? Tell us where you can find Ruby's Gift Store. Tell us where you can find Inspired Leaders and anything.
Thank you. You can find Ruby's Gift Store online. It is rubysgiftstore.com. We also have physical presence in Chisasi at Loy Plaza in Chisasi in near Ntinda, if you're within Kampala. And the shop is L03. That is rubysgiftstore.com or Loy Plaza L03. And then you can find Inspired Leaders International on Mawanda Road, along Mawanda Road in Kamocha. We have a website which I invite you to visit, inspiredleadersinternational.com. Inspiredleadersinternational.com. We have awesome programs like leadership programs for your team building programs, the public speaking program like the one that Lisa went through. Amazing programs that will enable you as a person to become better, but also your team to become better. You can also reach out to me on 0701 728 222. That is 0701 728 222. That number is also on WhatsApp. Reach out. We are ready and excited to serve you and support you.
Amazing, guys. These are my people. You can trust them. I've used Ruby's Gift Store. Amazing gifts, Bambi. For all the Christians out there, please check them out. But also, as you can see, the speaking has become better. I think so,
We are
so
proud
please,
of you,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyway, please reach out to them and you will be blessed. My name is Lisa Kusima. As always, I'm here to inspire. After 4 years of creating content, I'm excited to launch my website. I've been creating content on marriage, dating, womanhood, motherhood, and everything family that has impacted lots of lives. I've also been able to create digital products that have helped you with managing your house helps, breakfast recipes, helping with your marriages, creating content, right, and so much more. And I'm excited to announce that I'm bringing you the ultimate Christian dating guide. You guys have been saying that the dating streets are ghetto and you're frustrated, with dating the wrong people, things don't work out. I am here to help prepare you for the dating journey. Even when you're on the dating journey, I want to make it easier so that you can date purposefully and hopefully find the one. Because when we date wrong, we marry wrong. And we all know where that leads. So, check out my website, www.lisakusima.com, and you'll get access to all my digital products, including the ultimate Christian dating guide. I am here for you. I can't believe we actually have a website. Yay! So please run while the offer lasts. It's 10% off everything. Try it today.